My thought of the day is assumptions. I was journaling actually, and there was a really interesting prompt around assumptions. And I started to think, if we don't know the answer, do we always assume? And for me, I've realised actually, if I don't know the answer to something, or I don't know how someone's feeling, what they're thinking, I do come up with my own conclusion, and I do assume my version of events, whether it's what they're thinking, or why someone has done something, or even in life, if there's a big situation and I don't quite know all the answers, I do often assume an outcome. And it got me thinking. I started writing a bit more about this, and again it comes back to safety. I think so many things we tend to do down to wanting to feel safe and just having that answer, which gives us the control. And then when we think we're in control, we come from a place where we think we're safer. So you could have, say, a disagreement with someone, and straight away you can assume someone's feeling a certain way, but you don't actually know that for sure. And quite often, if you write a message or an email to someone, it doesn't always come across the way that it should, or the way that you mean it. So we can often receive words and interpret them completely different, and this takes us to that place again of assuming something. Now, it's really difficult without finding out the facts or actually speaking to those people to see what the truth of the matter is. But sometimes it's so beneficial to not assume, because it can take you into all different situations and scenarios by assuming. And while there's an element of this that we need to do, if you don't know, sometimes it's best just to not make a judgment around that thing. Just be a little bit patient, and without bringing the judgment, it gives you a bit more freedom and flexibility with what could be going on, without piling on unnecessary pressures that might not even be true. And realising myself that I guess in so many different things I endlessly assume. Sometimes before events have even taken place, we can assume things are a certain way and assume that they're going to turn out, and we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's around the corner. So making these assumptions is essentially putting those thoughts out there when we don't quite know the facts. And I've realised after this journal prompt, I actually assume quite a lot, and a lot of my assumptions come down to what I think other people are feeling. I do like to feel that if I'm around someone, I can often pick up on what they're feeling, but we don't know everything, and we can't assume that people feel a certain way, or even are taking things in the same way as we do, because we all see things differently. I remember discussing this not too long ago, but it blew my mind that everybody has a different version of us in their heads. So looking at myself, I will see something, and then 5 other people could look at me and see something completely different. But automatically I assume everybody sees what I see. But we all view the world through our own eyes, and we see things differently. And we've also got a different understanding of things as well, because we all learn in different ways. And I think removing the assumptions and the judgments, it just sometimes gives way to a more healthy way of living, and a bit more freedom. So I'm now trying not to assume quite as much, and I just really got me thinking, because I thought, well, if I don't know the answer, do I assume? And the answer is yes. For me, I do quite often assume what I think the conclusion is. So I don't know if that's the same for you, but I just wanted to share that thought. And if you feel that you assume quite a lot, and it takes you away to a place where the outcome is a certain way, maybe sometimes don't assume and just sit back and think, well, maybe I could ask that person, or maybe I could let this play out as it is. And it just gives you a little bit more freedom, really. So that was my mindful thought of the day. I hope you enjoyed it.